Hi guys, welcome to Gardening with Creations by DX & Co. Today we're actually going to do a short video on how you make your own seed tape. So there's lots of reasons you could use your own seed tape. Those reasons are entirely up to you. Some of it may be related to you just want to make sure you have the proper spacing ahead of time with your seeds. It could be because you don't want to deal with direct sowing the seeds later on and having too many seeds actually fall out of the package. There's a lot of reasons you could utilize seed tape. So you could run out to the store and buy packages for with seeds already on them for seed tape. But today I want to show you exactly how to make that, save a little bit of money while you're doing it. So there are two different types of materials that I'm going to show you that we could use for seed tape today. One of those materials is paper towel. Another of those materials is toilet paper. I'm also going to show you two different glue styles. You can use your simple kids glue that's non-toxic, easy to use. Whoops. Or I'm going to show you how to make your own glue today out of flour and water. So either one is a perfectly viable paste or glue that you can use for these. But let's get started. Let's start with what I've got here is some actual pepper seeds. These are green pepper seeds that I cut up from a green bell pepper last night. Left them out to dry overnight so they're ready to put on my seed tape. And I have a package here. I'll show you. This is grand bell pepper. And on the back of that package you can see right on it, it tells you the spacing, row spacing, 2.5 feet to 18 inches. So by 18 inches, excuse me. Sorry about that. So you want these to be about 2.5 feet. So would this be proper method to use for germination of these type? No, but it might be for something like carrots, so on and so forth. So check the back of your package. These peppers are seeds that are something that I'm going to save for later, so I don't mind doing a few for this video. But it also tells you what's important here is the depth on there. So one of the things that I want to show you is before getting started with this, and you can we don't need this whole thing, so we can cut this directly in half and still utilize it. So I'm actually going to cut that really quick here. See if I can get it to, well, didn't cut properly, so I'm just going to tear it in half here. So it's fine. It doesn't matter that this is jagged. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going in the ground and it's going to dissolve. It's degradable. So what I would then do is measure out the distance based on the back of the package like we saw. How far apart do you need this? And with toilet paper, you can actually keep it on the roll out a whole bunch to the proper spacing that you need. So you could roll out a 4-foot thing for your 4-foot raised bed. You could roll out anything, or you can just use the extra on the end like I'm doing. So with the paper towel, I'm going to utilize this glue here. Let's say that we wanted each of these space to be, I'm going to put a dot here. I'm doing the middle of my paper here. I'm going to put a dot. Let's say that my spacing only needed to be something like 2 to 3 inches apart. Maybe it's carrots or something like that. So I'm putting dots in each one of those spaces. Now, the reason that I'm putting dots on though is so I can put the glue. But it's really hard to label things when they're already glued. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually label this green peppers. With my marker. And then from there, tip that I found is put your depth on there, because you're probably not running back to grab this package when you go to plant. So it's helpful just to write your depth gauge right on there, so that when you do go to sow these into the ground when it's warm enough, you know exactly without having to go check, oh yeah, that's right, these are 1/4 inch depth. So just a handy tip for you guys to add your depth on there. So then I'm going to flip this back over. I'm going to add my dab of glue. So that's our dab of glue there. And then I'm just going to take one pepper each, or one seed each. It's okay if you do too. If you think that you have a bit of a slower germination rate, or not likely to germinate, because these ones in particular were taken, directly out of a pepper, like I said last night. So it's possible these don't germinate as quickly. In that case, you may want to add 1 or 2 seeds, maybe a little bit thicker dab of glue. But now you can see I just glued those right on there. Now the next step here, guys, is you want to be able to fold this over. So what I would do is, you can see I've got 4 seeds in there. I'm going to put a dab in between at the top of each one of those seeds, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to put a dab there, dab there, dab there. So I've got 3 dabs of glue. There we go. And I'm just going to fold this over on the off chance that my seeds, the glue doesn't hold very well, or that it doesn't stick. So that way there's an extra layer of protection. So there you have it, guys. I've got it labeled, my green peppers. I've got my seeds inside. They're properly spaced. So now I can take this, I can take my toilet paper roll, I can roll it around there and store it in a Ziploc bag so that I can save it for when I'm ready to plant. So if it's not quite warm enough like this for green peppers yet, you don't want to plant them directly outside in Michigan in this weather. So if it's not ready, you can store these in a cool, dry place and use them for when you're ready. You can even use them for next year. So you can prep this for your garden for next year if you're collecting seeds. So that's a great way. That's the toilet paper and glue method. Real simple, real short. And this is ready to go in the ground. You plant it at the proper depth. That's why I wrote the depth on there. And water it right after you cover topped it with soil. Let me show you guys, same theory though with toilet paper. So this particular toilet paper, a little bit more difficult, but is 2-ply. So I can actually peel this in half and actually utilize an extra piece. I can cut this down the middle, utilize that extra piece. This particular piece is perforated right here, so I think I'm going to use those as my guidelines for my glue. So I'm going to put a dab of glue in between each one of those perforations. I've got 4 sections here, so I've got 4 seeds. But for those of you who feel uncomfortable about, even though it's non-toxic glue and stuff they use with our children, and you want to make your own homemade remedy of paste, what you're looking to do here, another recycled thing I use, just old cups from kids' fruit cups. This is flour, all-purpose flour, and I have measured it out with 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to have equal part water. So I'm going to scoop equal part all-purpose or water into my all-purpose flour. I'm going to stir it up as I make a mess here. So stir that up, and you'll notice once you start stirring it up that it becomes a very pasty, not liquidy consistency, and it's not the best spoon to stir it up with. I would recommend maybe a little bit better spoon, but regardless, the results are the same. I've got a very pasty liquid now. So I've essentially just made an all-natural glue out of flour and water. So something that you guys can do at home if you prefer to do it that method. So same principle. I'm taking a Q-tip to apply this, and I'm putting that, just a dab on each section that I want to put my seeds. Again, label before you do so. Okay. So essentially label first. Take your seeds, again, 1 to 2 seeds, whatever your preference is, depending on your theory on germination. Everybody's is different. If you feel like you have good germination rates from direct sow, or the seeds that you're using are a brand you've used in the past that you believe are going to be a great germination rate, then go for it. Again, same principle as far as applying the glue for a sticking point. So what you want to do with both of these methods, glue and or the flour method, is lay this flat to dry. And then once it's dry, like I said, you're going to stick it into a Ziploc bag. And there it is, guys. We've got our seed tape. So I added a dab of glue because the actual thing ripped, but so easy fix. So even if your toilet paper rips on the perforation, dab of glue, holding it together. Our seeds are in there. This is ready for germination in an all-natural way, guys. So I could have made a lot more out of this particular piece. I could have taken it apart. I could have rolled it out. But now I can take my toilet paper roll and reuse that just once it's dry. I don't recommend this unless it's dry. But once it's dry, just roll it up. And provided I labeled it, like I said. There we go. There's that one. And then now I'm going to take my next one. And I'm just going to wrap it around there. And now I can just set this inside of a Ziploc bag and store it in a dry place, and my seeds are ready to be planted. So that's how 2 different ways or styles that you can make your own seed tape for your gardens, so you get the proper spacing. If you like to tediously measure, maybe you're doing a method where your space is tight and you want to make sure that everything is proper. Again, another tip is make sure you write that depth on there so you don't have to go searching for it later. But this is a good way to get prepped, get started for your gardens, because that warm weather is coming soon, guys. And I hope you guys like this video. Please share it out and hit that notification bell and subscribe for more content like this to come. And as always, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying your gardens.